Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Christy. At this point, I do have, I don't know, 7, 8 videos under my belt. Most of them shorts. You'll find that I am a lot more comfortable not on camera, but unfortunately, I can't show you what my food looks like if I do shorts. It's impossible. Not everything is under a minute, even with fun video magic. Today's video, I'm sure you know by the caption, this is part of the getting ready for camping video. So it's a combination. You're going to see me probably in different outfits over different days. We're about 7 days out from the camping trip, and there isn't too much I can prep right now, but one of the things that I can prep is my iced tea, which I have over here next to me. I'm not just pointing for no reason. Um, so I'm going to be making the iced tea today. I think that's it. And then it'll probably cut to another day, another outfit, and another item that I'll be making for the camping trip. There's lots to come. I will even show you what we're taking with us and get my bag packed. And I'm so excited. This is going to be so much fun. I haven't had a trip in years. I've just mentally had this battle of like almost, not only do I not want to go, I feel like I don't deserve to go. Money's been really tight. I don't like spending money on myself, even when it comes to buying a new outfit or anything like that. I always feel really guilty about it. So I put everything aside. I decided we're doing this. We're going camping. We need it. My parents are coming with too, so that'll be fun. And yeah, I'm excited. So let's get this iced tea started. Here it is. Hopefully I don't move too much because yes, I am holding the camera. Okay, so I've got this tea. I want to call it Ceylon tea. I'm not 100% sure the pronunciation of it, but this is a giant bag of tea, 1 pound loose tea. I bought it off of Amazon. I believe it was between $15 to $20. It was a great deal. I gave away a bunch. I drank a bunch, hot, cold, still have tons to go. So well worth the investment. That's pretty self-explanatory. There's the milk jug I've cleaned out, ready to go with the funnel so I can funnel in some water. And then over here on the stove, this pot we are going to be doing the water and tea in. You will see why in a second. So I'm just going to get the water where it needs to be, set up the tripod, and then we'll continue this. Here it is, back with the water. I'm just getting a few things. One optional item is a lemon, which I highly recommend. So I've got 8 cups of water. I should probably explain what I'm doing. You should just know. Just kidding. Okay, so right now I have 8 cups of water in this pot. I'm going to bring it to a boil. There's no tea in there. It's just water. That's the first step. Over here, I have 8 cups of cold water ready to go in the jug that it will be living in. This recipe I'm doing is doubled. I normally do half of this and it fits into a juice jug really well. So that would be 4 cups of boiling water to 4 cups of cold water, half a cup, no, quarter cup of sugar. Almost messed that up. Quarter cup of sugar and half a lemon. Sugar can vary. I personally don't like things very sweet, so I keep it on the low end, whereas the boyfriend prefers things sweeter, so he just adds sugar into his when he wants it. So that way I don't have to have anything stupid sweet that I don't want, and at the same time, I don't have to make something else for him because the fact that he's just going to sweeten it up himself anyways. So I'm not prepared. I don't have the sugar. I don't have the lemon. I don't have a measuring cup for the tea. Oh, what am I doing? It's a double video day for me. In case you're wondering why I might be a little bit more frazzled than usual, I've got 2 things going at once. Obviously not at the exact same time. That'd be a weird video, talking about tea and then dinner. But if you're interested, if it's not out yet, I believe it should be. I'm not sure the order I'm going to release my videos. It should be out, but it's a vegetarian fried rice with egg. I love adding egg into a lot of my meals. I like the extra protein. So if you're interested, check out my other videos. I may not know what I'm doing all the time, but I have a really good eye for things. I'm really fantastic in the kitchen, and the food rarely gets a complaint. And I say rarely because I usually complain the most, but I usually know where I go wrong. I've had recipes where it called for a lot of black pepper. I thought, that seems like a lot. Maybe I shouldn't put it in. And then I go ahead and do it anyways. And when I do it, I end up at the end going, yeah, that's way too much pepper. Why did I do that? You know better. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Nope. I'm going to trust my instincts. But bonus is we're going to try the recipes here first, and I will be honest, because if it's not something I'd make again, I'm going to tell you. Or if it's somewhere I can improve, I'll tell you how I'd improve it, and then maybe you can make it better than I did. So, always trying to help each other out. Okay, I'm going to go get a lemon. Okay, back with my lemon. I was just doing some math because I was just trying to think of how much tea I added into this, and I think I got it hella wrong. So, I'm going to try to fix that right now. Hopefully I get this right when I write it up, because I don't want anybody to ruin their tea. So, my water is coming to a boil here in front of my eyes. Now, so the way I've worked this out to be, it's about 155 milliliters. So that's half a cup plus a tablespoon, right? So that's 40. And then, yeah, okay, so I think I'm going to do 2 tablespoons. Okay, so half a cup plus 2 tablespoons. Doesn't have to be exact or anything. It hangs out all over, that's fine. A little extra never hurt either, because you definitely don't want a weak tea. I think a cup definitely would have been too much. So I'm happy that I had that little bit of a brain fart to remember this, because it seemed a little much. Okay, I got this ready. Okay, so the whole point of this 8 cups, or if you did half the recipe, which is the 4 cups, you just bring it to a boil. Once it boils, you're going to take your tea amount, which in layman terms, it's 2 teaspoons per cup. So if you want to do the math like I did with 2 teaspoons, by all means, it's thank goodness for Google. Okay, so we're going to turn this off, put it on the back burner, set a timer for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to it. Alright, I've decided to put a lid on it. I probably should have mentioned that. Put a lid on, let it steep for 10 minutes. While that happens, we're going to take this lemon and we're going to place it in the microwave. You may ask why I am doing this, and it's just because it's going to make it a lot easier for me when I go to juice it. And I do have issues with chronic pain, so anything I can do to help. I just flipped it over in case you were wondering. Same thing, 10 seconds. So I do 10 seconds on each side. You can do up to 30 seconds. I don't think I'd recommend any more than that. And then it's as simple as getting out your cutting board, cutting it in half, and juicing it. And like most things too, it's good to give it a little bit of a roll. You can feel it. I guess it has something to do with the molecules heating up, that when you go to juice it, they explode or something. I don't know. Don't ask me the science terms on what's going to happen with this lemon. But I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to juice it there. Ignore my little tea spatula. And then hopefully that'll be done, and back to it. Okay, I'm back. I totally forgot about the sugar. I mentioned the sugar and I didn't add the sugar. I should have put it in when the water was boiling. I'm a little panicky and my voice is a little high-pitched because I didn't do it right. Okay, so I did, because again I doubled it, I did the half a cup or thereabouts of sugar. I'm going to mix it in. Because the water's still hot, I don't think this is going to affect anything. It should still dissolve. And remember, I am adding it into another 4 cups of cold water, so it'll definitely dissolve in there, but I can already feel I just feel tea at this point. So there I go, kind of messed that up a little bit, but it's okay, still salvageable. Just set that aside. Okay, so here we go. I've got a mess again, that's what I've got. I've juiced my lemon. Just want to make sure no seeds fell through. It happens sometimes. So we're going to pour that in. If you're a person that likes the pulp, by all means, you can use it. I'm choosing not to because this isn't just for me. This is something I will be sharing. So I have opted to put it in. I'm still waiting on my timer, so we'll be back. Okay, the timer's gone off. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I find the best way to do this, don't waste your money and buy those it's not reusable. I think it's just like homemade tea bags. Don't even bother. Put your tea in loose and just use a mesh strainer. You could always use a cheesecloth too. I've done that before, but there's not too much that gets through that I'm really bothered that I feel like it's necessary. Cheesecloth can be used in other places. I don't think it needs to be for the tea. So timer's up. We're going to dump into this bowl because it's just going to make this process a bit easier. Shake, get out, get out. It's not listening to me, guys. Typical. The other nice thing about this too is that when you lift it above the bowl, you can squeeze that last little bit out of the tea. Oh, I missed one. That would have been bad. Maybe I'll have to put a little strainer on top. I don't know how many I missed. I'm sure it wasn't too much. Could have been, but I'm sure it wasn't. So here we go. Just a little squeeze. Nothing too crazy. Now, this is another one of those reusable things. You can use tea leaves in the garden. I believe it's no different than a natural type of mulch. I couldn't give you the specs on it. That you'd have to look up, but I know you can use it. Okay, so that's it. My sugar dissolved even though I was late on it, which is fine. I've got the cold water here with the lemon in it, so the only thing left to do is to hopefully not spill this. Please don't spill this. I'm going to go up on my tippy toes, guys. I'm scared. Woo! Oh, here we go. Don't do that spit back thing. Sometimes this like seals on the top and then it likes to spit it back at me. One of the downfalls of having this such a perfectly fit funnel, I guess. Oh, I did have a little piece. You know what? I see a little bit. I'll show you here in a second. Let me open the right drawer. How about that? Okay, so if you look in this wonderful bowl with me, I don't know if you can tell. I don't think you can see personally. Hold on, let me see if I can shine a light on it. No, you can't really tell. Okay, well, what you're not seeing that I am trying to show you is the fact that there is a little bit of like dusty dust in the bottom. So I'm not sure if this is small enough to catch it. I would think so. So I'm just going to pour the last bit through here. Or just slowly pour it. It's almost like gold panning. There we go. There, now you can probably see a bit better of what I'm talking about. I'm probably going to end up spilling this on my floor, but there's such horrible lighting. My goodness. But you can see there's kind of a little bit of grit. It's hard to tell, I know, but it's in there. Oh. That's it. I'm done. I still have to make dinner. I'm exhausted. I'm in a little bit of pain, so I'm definitely going to be taking a break after this. And now all I have to do is put this in the fridge, and it's good to go for the camping trip. So see you guys in a bit. And we're back. So as you can see, different outfit, different day. We're getting closer to the camping trip. I almost did an intro, but I realized this was being added onto another video, so save myself some time. Happy I caught that early. As usual, let's get into it. What I'm doing today is I'm going to do some lemon raspberry cookies. They were an inspiration thanks to my friend who I spent all day on the phone with. So well worth the waited time, but thanks bestie, because we're going to make this delicious cookie together, and I will stop by and give you some, don't worry. So here we go. Let's move some of this stuff. I've been prepping what I need to cook for camping. So we're gonna go to it. I'll put the recipe below as usual. I always end up forgetting to say an ingredient out loud anyways. So, I mean, I'm still gonna try my best to say it out loud, but for the most part, just do what I do and read whatever the recipe says, because it's going to be more accurate, because I've put more thought into writing that out than I have hitting record and doing this. So in here we've got some flour, baking powder, baking soda. It normally calls for a pinch of salt. To skip that whole salt process, I usually just use a salted butter. Nothing crazy, but it has salt in it. Speaking of, that's half a cup there. Just under a cup of sugar. We've got lemon zest, lemon juice from one lemon. We've got an egg, some vanilla extract, and some raspberries. Everything's out and ready to go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to reshift this angle a bit, get everything lined up, and then I'll meet you over at the stove. And here we are at the stove. Now, baking for me is like breathing. Very simple. If it's not your forte, measure your stuff out beforehand. Get it into little bowls. Like if you could see my counter right now, that's what I've got. I've got everything set up in order to put it in. That's not just because of this video. That's how I function all the time. I am like an actual production. I always have everything ready to go, so the cooking process is easier for me. I can space it out because of my pain. And again, I mean, why have to stop all the time? That's when you start forgetting things. That's when you're going to put the salt instead of the sugar into your recipe. So I highly recommend getting all your stuff out together and ready to go. So step one for most, well, especially cookie recipes, we need to cream the butter, which I've had out at room temperature all day. And we're going to add it. I had the egg sitting in the sugar so it didn't fall, but we're going to have to move it. Hopefully it doesn't fall away. So it'll be the butter and the sugar. So let's get this blender down and get this started. so this was just a simple beat till light and fluffy. You'll notice when you first start mixing it, it almost looks like, I can't even really say crumbs. Almost like dough, like separated balls of dough. When it's ready and creamed, you should get something that looks more like this, where it's kind of like a paste. Even too, you'll notice the difference in density when you go to put your spatula through it. You'll notice it's a lot, I guess, airier after blending. So anytime you see that in a baking recipe where it says to mix until creamy, that's kind of what you're looking for. So now we get to put in all this other good stuff. So half a cup, oh my goodness, that would be horrible. Half a cup. Okay, half a teaspoon of vanilla. Goodness, that could have been horrible. Plus the egg. If you're worried about cracking open the egg and getting eggshells in, do it into a separate bowl first and pour it in. There's no shame in that. Sometimes it doesn't even matter how good you are at cracking eggs. Some eggs are just more brittle than others and they tend to dust up. The other thing is this lemon zest I have sitting here on my cutting board. It's been out for a minute. I probably should have done this a bit sooner, but it'll rehydrate. And then the lemon juice. Perfect. Okay, so vanilla, everything's in. Okay, so next step, and by the way, it is going to look a little funny. I believe it's the lemon that kind of makes things almost separate and kind of curdle, but don't worry, it's all going to come together just fine. So the next step is going to be slowly incorporating the flour. So as I'm blending, I'm just going to pour the flour in. And this is usually the point you don't want to over mix anything. There's sometimes where it is easier to just do it by hand because you don't overmix unless you're somebody that's really crazy and goes at it like it's an Olympic sport. So whenever you think it's done, stop, check it with a spatula, flip it. You might still find little flour pockets. Don't bother to mix again. Just do that part by hand. So we're going to get this in. Alright, that's it. I cranked it up at the end there just to shake off some of the dough. We'll put those in the sink. We're just gonna move that out of the way. I'm sure that was really loud. I'll hear that in editing. I think for right now, I'm just gonna use this towel. It's just a little bit of fluff dust in the way. I mean, fluff dust, flour dust. Oh my goodness. I am so scatterbrained. It's hot. I'm excited to go on this trip and not think about something right now. I don't know, I guess it's just one of those days. All right, perfect. So that's what our dough looks like, our cookie dough. It's a pretty soft dough compared to some. It's definitely a sticky dough. And I will be putting the raspberries in it still too. So I'm just going to clean up a little bit, get some of this put away, and then we'll finish. And I'll change the camera angle a little bit too because you don't need to see my stove anymore. Got everything tidied up. I forgot to mention, you should probably turn your oven on. It's one of those things you have to do when you're baking cookies, apparently. It's preheat an oven. Who would have thought? I forgot. I did it while I was blending away there. So, 350. 350 is our temperature. So these raspberries, by the way, I should add, these came from my mom's garden. She's got a fence just lined with wonderful, wonderful raspberries. So they were cleaned and they sat and they've gotten most of the water off them because I left them for quite a few hours on some paper towel. So here's hoping they work out. Oh my goodness, that's red. Do you see this? This is insane. Oh, it smells good though. The more I turn it, the more it smells like raspberries. So this is one of those instances you don't want to over mix too much. I do want to try to get all of it mixed in, so I'm just scooping through the center of the bowl to just almost fold it all over because I want to make sure that every scoop has some sort of raspberry in it. Okay, well that's it. So now we're just going to scoop and bake. If I can find my scoop. Oh, there it is. It's pushed way back there. I've been in and out of the store a lot this last couple weeks, So this is simple. I've got a little cookie scoop. You can get these anywhere. I mean, whatever size cookie you like eating is the size I'd recommend making. If it's meant for a giant cookie that can easily be changed, you just cut back your time and do it for a regular size cookie, or vice versa. If you prefer to do a bigger cookie, you just add some more time. But always start with a lower amount of time and then go from there. Don't ever oversell yourself too much. It's a nuisance, yes, to check every now and then and see what's going on, but once you get that nailed the first time, then you don't have to worry about it. Just like mini muffins, most of mini muffins that I end up doing, they take anywhere from about, I'd say 10 to 12 minutes. So an average muffin recipe is, I think, like, I don't know, 15 to 20. So just little changes, and I started off with 10 minutes. Guess it depends how much I fill and what I do that day, but I don't know how much these are going to spread out. I hope they don't touch, but it's not going to stop me from eating them. These are beautiful. Some aesthetically pleasing cookies. I'll probably have to leave some behind for my daughter so she can eat some too. She's going to stay behind and house sit and watch all the animals for us. Hear Alfie in the background going through some stuff. Alright, there it is. Okay, so there they are. We'll lean you down. Check them out. Pretty delicious looking. I know, it was like the best editing you've ever seen. That was the zoom of the century right there. Alright, that's it. Now we're just going to wait for the stove to finish heating up. I keep hitting this mic. I am so sorry for the interference if I keep hitting it. It's in a very awkward spot on this dress. I don't really like it, but it is what it is. We're going to deal. It's just one of the world's problems, I guess. So yeah, I'll let this do its thing, and I will show you what it looks like once it comes out of the oven. This one's pretty quick, pretty simple, and hopefully pretty delicious. Okay, guys, I just pulled everything out of the oven. I just wanted to give you a quick show, not of me, obviously, of the cookies. So here they are. There you go. Like I said, very, very pretty. It might come up a little bit more of a red color on here, but there's quite a bit of pink swirl in there as well. I think it marbled beautifully. The last batch is in the oven. You can kind of see through. It's an older oven, so there's not much I can do to clean all that off. But there we go. That is them. I'm gonna eat some, save some, and send some over to my bestie. Hey guys, here we are again. We are now on, it's Tuesday. We will be leaving on Thursday morning, so trip is getting much closer. Can feel the anticipation. I'm very unprepared for this. Here we go. I knew I had one over there. So I've done a few things off camera this time for the trip. I did make some graham crackers. There's a lot of creators out there right now that are doing graham crackers because it's summertime. And this was a brand new recipe for me. I've never done graham crackers before. So I opted to keep it off video just in case that one turns out really bad. I don't like butchering a classic when it comes to something like that. So we will see how it turns out. If it turns out good and you guys are interested, just let me know and I'll make a point of making them again and obviously filming them. But right now I'm just getting the stuff together to make some cheese crackers. They're kind of like Cheez-Its, but in this case a lot less salt because I'm going to control it. So I've got a cup of flour, 1.5 teaspoons of cornstarch, and I'm about to get 6 ounces of cheese. So I'll do that and we'll see where that goes. Alright, sorry about that guys. I totally spaced and forgot my microphone. I've got it on now, so hopefully the first video isn't too bad for the quality of sound. But I've got it now, so... Alright, let's see. We need 6 ounces of cheese. I'm still going to cut this up so it's smaller. I might even... Yeah, I think I might shred it. I think I'll shred it. 5.8 ounces. You've got to be kidding me. 0.2 ounces off. That's so crazy. Let's get the knife out. Let's see. Add a slice. Let go. 6.1. I'll take it. I will take it all day. Okay, the only thing you really have to know about this recipe, I mean, it is really easy to do. Don't ever like throw in a 6-ounce block like this. This is ridiculous. Even something like this, you can still end up with huge chunks that might not break up, especially depending on what type of food processor you have. So I do recommend always shredding the cheese. It just breaks it up a lot easier. But the great thing with this recipe is that everything is done in the blender, so it's going to be nice and quick and mixed, and then it's going to go cool with the graham cracker crust. And tomorrow, being the day before we leave, is when I'll bake all of this stuff, so it's still relatively like fresh when we leave. So pretty excited. Behind me too, I already have some of the overnight oats ready to go. I didn't add any liquid into it. I will be doing that tomorrow. But this is really simple. This is half a cup of oats. It's got 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'll probably add 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup. It all depends on how sweet you want. For the boyfriend, it'll probably be 2 tablespoons. For the one I did, I'll probably add the 1 tablespoon. And this other one I did of mine is peanut butter and jelly. So it's just a tablespoon of jelly, tablespoon of peanut butter, and again, the half cup of oats. I also like my oatmeal a little bit thicker, so I only mix mine with half a cup of milk. If you like yours a bit runnier, like a porridge, I think it would be. 1 cup of milk works great with half a cup of oats. And I use quick oats because it's softer. So why not? So there's no point in me showing you how to shred cheese on camera. I'm pretty sure everybody's aware of how to shred cheese. If not, maybe you're aware of how to buy shredded cheese in the stores, so you don't have to do this. Either way works. No judgment. So I'm going to get this shredded up, and then I'll get it in the blender, and then we'll come back to this, and we'll see where we're at. And I got to get some space cleaned. Okay. We're back. Still unorganized, but we're back. I am so scatterbrained for this trip. I can't wait till it happens, because then I don't have to think anymore, because I've done it already. You ever feel like you need a vacation after the vacation? I'm already at that point. I haven't even left yet. Here it is, 6 ounces. And for the cheese, experiment. Try different cheeses. Try your favorite blends. I've also done this with jalapeno Monterey. It's a really nice, really subtle. If you do just like a cheese cracker, go for a nice old cheese where it's got a nice, strong flavor. It's always really good. So I'm just going to blend this for about 30 seconds or so. I'll show you what it looks like when it's blended. And then after that, we're going to get to adding in the butter and then a couple tablespoons of cold water. Okay, so here it goes. That's what it looks like after it's blended the first time. It's still pretty grainy, but at least your cheese is all blended up. Oh, let's put this on properly now. So now the next step is 6 tablespoons. Everything's dirty. I've done so much prepping for this trip. Everything's dirty and freshly washed and nothing's in the drawers. Typical. Okay, so this is 6 tablespoons. So this is going to take me a minute because I'm scraping it out. I like to use these baker's blocks a lot just because of them already being pre-measured. It's nice. And anytime something calls for softened, that's usually when I decide to go for this stuff that you can get in a tub, like the B-Cell or whatever your brand may be. Okay, that was a bit more than 1, so I'll have to undersell a tablespoon, which is fine. If you're not good at eyeballing measurements, by all means, do it exact, press it into the spoon, flatten it out, all that good stuff. Okay, there's 2. I'm probably going to end up editing this out because this is, I got 4 more to go. This is going to be a minute. So it's not cooperating right now. Oh, there we go. That's nice. I like that. Get off. There we go. No! You too. All right, we're halfway there. My goodness. Okay, that was it for that one that I had left. I think at this point I'm just going to knife it. I knew I was going to finish off the other brick that I had, so I didn't mind mashing into it because I knew there'd be nothing left, but this one I will have leftovers, so I don't want to mangle the butter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you want to, if you sometimes get a little distracted, preoccupied, maybe you just have a busy house, if you make a point of setting these things separated, I say things, it's a freaking tablespoon of butter. If you make a point of setting your tablespoon of butter in different parts of, like, even if it's just a bowl you're measuring in, pre-measuring before you use it, or if it's like what I'm doing in here, by making it so it's not one giant clump when you're sitting here distracted, you know, maybe doing some YouTube videos, and you forget, you can easily look in and go, oh wait, there's this many clumps, and know that that's how many tablespoons you have. Because it happens to the best of us, even when we're not filming. I won't lie, the filming has really, really got me a lot more scatterbrained than I usually am in the kitchen, but again, I imagine that's just jitters. I've never done this before. Again, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying. Where did I put that? I set it down too soon. That's that scatterbrain I'm talking about. I set my knife down. I wasn't even done with it yet. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is going to be really quick yet again. You're going to blend it so it kind of looks like sand. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1 to 2 tablespoons of water. At that point, you want it to look like a dough. And then I'll show you what the end product looks like before I put it in the fridge. Here we are, guys. I just wanted to show you what the texture is supposed to look like after you add the butter. I guess you would say this is more like a wet sand. It kind of reminds me of that Dot's ice cream my kid used to get. So that's what it looks like before the water. And we'll add in the 2 tablespoons of water. And then hopefully we'll have a dough that we can flatten and cool in the fridge. Here it is in its glory. So there, that's what you're going to want at the end of it. It's just a nice dough. Pretty easy peasy, especially if you have a blender. I mean, I honestly don't know how you would make this without some sort of blender. But, I mean, you put your mind to it, you can do anything. So this is a usual split it into 2 kind of thing. I mean, more often than not, anytime I do any recipe that involves making a disc out of it, it almost always is 2 discs. So that's what we're gonna do. We'll leave this for the second one. So this is it. It's it'll get wrapped up. This dough's pretty sturdy that I don't think I'd have to put it on a baking sheet. I've done it with softer doughs. The graham cracker dough I made earlier is really soft, so I put it on a little baking sheet. But this is it. Very simple. So I'll do the same thing with the second one. Into the fridge it goes, and then I'll see you tomorrow when I do all of this wonderful, wonderful baking. Alright guys, this video is already getting pretty long, so I decided to cut the footage I did of the graham crackers, considering I didn't do the footage of me mixing them anyways. So, no big deal. Just figured I'd show you what they look like. They look like graham crackers. They're pretty toasty. I ate one of these little skinny pieces and it was nice and crunchy, but it's also an edge piece, so I'm not sure. I guess when I put up my camping video, you'll know whether or not they turned out decent because I'll be eating them. So, that's it on the graham crackers. I'm going to roll out the crackers. Again, because this video is so long, there's no point in showing it. It's pretty simple. You roll it out, you cut it. This one, though, I will be putting onto a baking sheet in little pieces. This was able to cook as one solid sheet. So, again, if you want to see this, I can do this another time. It was really good. I will definitely make it again. So if it's something you're interested in, just let me know in the comments, and I will work on getting a graham cracker video out. It'll be just in time for fall too, so it'll be really good. So next I'll do the cheese crackers, show you them quickly so you know what they're like, and then that'll probably be it for this video. And then the next one will be me camping and enjoying all of this stuff instead of slaving over it. Here it is. Cheese crackers are done. They're cut. Next step will be getting them onto a baking sheet and crisping them up. There's the crackers all ready to go into the oven. Ignore that little thing. It was just a piece I had left over. It kind of looks like a seahorse. But anyways, that's what they look like. They're going to go in the oven for 16 to 18 minutes. I'm going to do 18 minutes. If you make yours thicker, you might have to put them in longer. And, yeah, can't see. Lights off. So, there they are. Oh, perfect. Ah, it's steamed. Okay, that's better. Okay, hold on. Let me just take these out. That was fantastic. That was an insta steam. So there we go. As you can see from the side profile, like they do puff up like little pillows. That one back there did really good. I put a few little toasty bits, but I kind of like the darker ones anyway, so I'm happy with that. Oh, our seahorse. But that's it. So I'll package these up. That's it for this video, guys. If you made it this far, I thank you. I know this is a really long one, but when you look back at it, for the amount of recipes that are in this video, this was actually pretty good. So it's probably a good thing I didn't add the buns or the graham crackers, because I just wouldn't have had enough time. You guys would have been here all day. So thanks again for watching, and tune into the next video to see the camping trip itself.